Right, hello everybody. Welcome back to SnowRunner Hard Mode, where I've just moved the truck down, had a little bit of a think about what we're going to do this episode before launching in. Maybe try and make it a little bit faster progress per episode. So what we are going to do is see if the GMC is capable of doing this mission for rock slide. This is where we left off. All I've done is move the Chevy down from the rock slide. So we have to deliver one metal beam and one service part to the rock slide. And there is the GMC is capable of picking up a metal beam. There is also a service part on this little trailer. So we're going to jump into the GMC and we're going to see what's involved in doing that mission. This truck, as a memory refresher for myself as well as you, this truck has no all-wheel drive. This is purely a highway truck. I believe it's probably, once we get it, we've not taken it back to the workshop yet, garage. So, but I believe it's capable of all-wheel drive, capable of dip lock, but we haven't got that yet. So we're going to take it into town, at least see if we can grab metal beams. Because we don't have a crane on this vehicle, we'll have to see how much it costs to have it auto-loaded for us. Otherwise, we'd have to take it back to garage and look at fitting an add-on for a loading crane. And I don't know at the moment how much it costs to load. It's one of the features of the hard mode rules, is that you pay for loading of the items that you need to collect. It's a little bit hit and miss. In a previous episode, we found out that you don't pay to unload at the mission destination, so it seems like you only pay in like cargo handling areas. See how that goes as we go through. But anyway, let's get in and see what it would cost to have steel beam, metal beam added by the auto load function. So the engine off, save a bit of fuel. Just out of interest, let's double check the task for a minute. The rock slide will pay $1,600. And if I want to auto load, it will cost me $150. I forget exactly how much a loading crane is. It's probably at least 5,000 or so. So for now, just to keep the episode a bit of momentum going, we're going to auto load that and pay the 150. And then we'll go and see if this vehicle is capable of delivering. So we don't pay, just to be clear, the hard mode setting is that you pay to have the goods loaded. I believe you still don't pay for the actual goods. So this is the bit I was a little bit nervous about with this truck, is that it's a earth track rather than a deep mud, but there's a patch of mud there, a bit of momentum, and hopefully we get through it. I wasn't entirely sure whether it would be possible for this truck without all-wheel drive or diff lock, but that's literally the only bit of mud between the asphalt in the town and the asphalt here. Handbrake, engine off, cargo management, and let's unload our metal beam. So that's one of the two objectives done. Reverse back and around. and we'll go and grab the trailer. I could have dragged the trailer up at the same time as bringing the metal beams, but that's extra weight, and I wasn't entirely sure that it was going to get through that mud puddle on its own, let alone dragging a trailer. So taking a route to the side to avoid the worst of the mud, hopefully. Yes. Let's get a winch on there. Put it into low range. I want to winch to the side of the truck onto that post and get ourselves moving. So coming back this way is not too bad. High ratio. And then once this rock slide task is done, we're going to get into the Chevy and open up the west edge of the map where we have a watchtower, 2 upgrades, and a free Scout 800 truck to collect. And that's going to be the main objectives for this task, plus that is the main objectives for this episode. I know that this I remember this trailer being a little bit awkward to get connected to, so I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. So that we can get to the front of it a bit easier. Bit of a camera wobble there. It seems like the follow camera, which when I'm manoeuvring in a place like this is kind of necessary, but it seems like the follow camera is quite sensitive to clipping through things. I would have, in this day and age, I would have thought you can have more sensible algorithms than that, but attach that trailer. So we don't need the bricks that are on this trailer, but we do need the service parts. So we'll try and get this delivered up to the rock slide, and then we'll, oops, sorry, to the sign, whoever that belonged to. The municipal team will be along to fix that, no doubt. Damage like that you do in this game seems to be auto-repaired by the time you next load, which makes sense. It reduces the size of save files, I suppose. Right, try and keep some momentum up, because this is pulling a trailer with this load on it is heavier than what we did with the metal beams, I believe. And try and get enough momentum to get through the muddy puddle. At least far enough that we can get to the telegraph pole or power pole if we need a winch, which we will. So low ratio. I hope I can reach that telegraph. No, I can't. Nope. Yeah, so this vehicle is now stuck in the mud. And that's kind of my fault, because I expected this vehicle to struggle a little bit. Maybe it's just a good indication of why without all-wheel drive these highway trucks are useless in this game. Because that's literally the only little bit of mud between those two pieces of tarmac, and it's enough to get me caught. Sometimes one thing you can do is detach the trailer. Sometimes then the truck can make a bit of progress. Well, maybe not this time. Right in the episode, trapped a little. Oh, hang on. An engine. There's literally nothing I can winch to. Let's just see. I think I'm going to probably need to bring the Fleet Star over, but let's just see if the Chevy, although it's a much smaller vehicle, see if the Chevy's got the ability to give that truck enough of a move forward. Oh, hang on a minute, where am I? Yeah, too far. I thought this car park was on the other side. Too keen. Back her up. Poor little GMC caught in the mud. And this really is like the smallest little piece of mud you can imagine relative to what you see later on in the game. Where I've played this game in campaign mode, some of the stuff that you maneuver later. So you can turn the engine on for the truck that you're trying to tow, which means it will try and assist. I will put this in low ratio all-wheel drive. Brake off. This isn't going to move it, is it? Oh, slowly, slowly. Come on, you can do it. Just need to get those back wheels out of that piece of mud. Let's drop the winch off. Pop this to the side of the road. Turn the engine off. And change truck to the GMC. And then what we can do now, with the handbrake of the GMC on, is try to winch the trailer. So it's quite a common tactic, really. I'm also pulling the trailer in on the winch, but because the wheels of the GMC are out of the mud a bit, not entirely, don't they? I'll back it up, attach it. And then see if under our own steam we're able to, with the winch's help, move. I expected this to happen. Seriously, I did expect this to happen. And partly this shows how useless highway trucks are unless you can get decent tyres and all-wheel drive on them. Because I expect to sell this GMC when we get it back to the garage. We'll have a look at the options to upgrade it, because if it's possible without too much effort to put all-wheel drive and diff lock on it and better tyres, to be fair to the truck, that it might be fine. But in terms of the state it's in now, early game, versus what you get with the Fleet Star is just way more capable. And there is almost nothing that this truck is going to be useful for if it can't even handle that little piece of mud early game. So unless we spend money to upgrade it, it's not going to be useful. Click it into high ratio. Get this delivered. Cargo management. Done. So we've got £1,600 minus the £150 that we paid to load, minus the fuel. Obviously, we minus the fuel. And then what we need to try and do, good luck with this, it's a dolly trailer again. We need to try. That was my fault. Ooh, what have I done? What have I done? Why did I do that? I just jackknifed it in reverse. Absolutely entirely my fault. Attach a trailer. Yeah, I don't like this truck. I bet the GMC is not heavy enough to pull either of those. Sorry, the Chevy. I bet the Chevy is not heavy enough to pull either of those onto their wheels. And we also dropped the bricks off the trailer because it disconnected, not surprisingly. Oh, that's a great start. That's a great start. What a stupid bit of driving. That's entirely my fault. Because I was trying to reverse and I was facing the wrong way and I did the wrong steering lock and I was reversing too fast. So let's just see, but I bet this isn't. It's going to be powerful enough. So we're attaching to that side of the chassis. We're not. You can't turn the engine on anyway because it's on its side. Low ratio. No, I didn't think so. This has no chance of pulling that back onto its wheels. Give a run at it. Nope, no chance. So much. Oh, this is the stupidest, simplest little delivery, and I've messed it up. Engine off. Map. Where's my fleet star? Over at the farm, where we did the last delivery. Let's back it out onto the road. Stick it in all-wheel drive because we're deep in mud. What we will do, so I have there's a choice there, and that wasn't deliberate, but this is an opportunity to talk about and what the challenge is, because in campaign mode I would have just recovered that, and then recovered the truck, probably sold it, but recovered the truck, would have been back in the garage, it would have been fully repaired, refueled, and recovered for free. No harm done, carry on, get the next mission done. And then that trailer that's on its side, next time I'm passing with a truck like this, I would pull it back onto its wheels and use it. In hard mode, I could have recovered the truck. It would have cost me, I think, 2,000, 2,500. We might confirm that in a minute. So I could have recovered it and paid the money to recover it, but I'm not going to do that because, oops, the handbrake turned into the fence there, but I managed to save it. Yeah, that was a stupid mistake on my part, but I might have done that by recovering it, but I'm not going to do it because it's my fault and it's part of hard mode. I'm going to come in here. The reason I've come to the garage, you may have been wondering why on earth I'm going to the garage, apart from the fact that I did level up, I think, since I was last here, so I was just going to check, but no, there's no new tyres. Level 6 to get all terrains, and level 8 to get off-road. Yeah, the reason I've come here is I am going to buy, 5,700. I'm going to buy the crane, because it'll be handy for the recovery I'm about to do, and I know I'll need it anyway. I'm not going to put anything else on just yet, unless I put a saddle on. No, not going to put anything else on just yet. Not sure we deserve a coat of paint yet, but no, we'll leave it the default colour. And we'll head over with this truck and use this truck to get that other truck back on its wheels, get the trailer back on its wheels, and use the crane to load the bricks back onto the trailer, so at least we're not leaving them in the middle of the road. Honestly, I can't believe I just did that. That's such a crazy mistake to make. Oops. So the other thing is, while I'm driving, I can talk. Maybe drive in a straight line if I can pay attention. I'll go into first person because I do find it easy just to focus on driving. I have uploaded the previous 3 videos at the point that I'm recording this one. So thank you very much for the views and likes that I've had on the previous videos. Very much appreciated. I'm frankly relieved that anybody's watched them all, and I'm going to carry on recording my gameplay because I'm going to be playing anyway, and recording doesn't add an overhead to what I'm doing anyway. The editing piece does a little bit, and I am a complete noob at editing, so I'm sure other people will do it faster and better, but it's a learning exercise and I quite enjoy that. So I'm going to carry on with the process, and probably I haven't got channel goals or anything like that. I'm doing this just because it's an experience, but probably, given that I am a gamer first and foremost, a bit of engine damage, a bit over keen there, I'll be playing this game every day, so therefore I'll probably be uploading videos for this game every day, because I don't really want to play my other save. If I'm going to play, I may as well play this one, and I may as well record it. So yeah, I'll be not necessarily every day, but every day that I play, I'll record what I do, and then at some point in the time following that play session, I'll run it through the editor software, check that there's no obvious audio issues. I still don't know how to use OBS properly. I haven't worked out how to get the audio tracks separated, so it's quite difficult for me to edit out any coughs and sneezes and background noises in the house with family noises and my dog banging on my door and all that kind of stuff. I'm not very good at editing that stuff out yet. Case in point. So I'm just going to carry on, because as I do this and learn the tools, I'll get better, and that's a valid goal in its own right. Stick the lights on. It's getting dark. But yeah, this is episode 4, and the previous episodes are already live on YouTube at the point that I'm playing at the moment, and I do appreciate the views and likes that we've had already. Oh, I can't believe I'm a little bit mad at myself. The first thing that goes through your head for me when I'm doing something like this and I rode that truck is, oh, will I start this episode again? And then that takes away from the content. I made a mistake. I'm not going to hide it away. I'm not going to edit it out. I made a mistake, and part of this game is recovering. I'm just a little bit embarrassed that it was such a stupid mistake. There'll be plenty of mistakes that I can put my hands up and say that wasn't my fault, Gov. That was just a problem that happened because I was trying to do something difficult. Whereas the truck that just fell over, I wasn't trying to do anything difficult. I was just reversing a dolly trailer too fast, looking the camera in the wrong direction and got the wrong steering lock, and it jackknifed and tipped over. But yeah, I don't see any point in me succumbing to that initial instinctive reaction of edit it out. Nobody needs to see that I made that stupid mistake. I'm willing to leave it in there and let you all know that mistakes happen. It does look quite pitiful though. I mean, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to keep the GMC anyway. Maybe it tipped over. Maybe I upset it. Maybe I offended it, and it decided to throw itself over in a fit. I don't know. Obviously, I'm joking. Right, where am I? And it's a bit dark now as well. So I think I want to. It's going to be a difficult angle. I doubt if the crane on its own has got enough torque to shift that weight. I will handbrake on, attach this winch to the trailer to start with, and see about pulling the trailer back down. Right, so that's the trailer back on its wheels. Let's see if I have my handbrake on. Turn the engine off. I'll just try, see if this winch has got the strength to pull that down. Almost. Let's try it. Handbrake off. There we go. It's all recovered. Nothing to see here. Detach the winch. Move this out of the way for a sec. Engine off. Change vehicle. While I was editing the other 3 episodes, I felt it was all a bit too dark. But as I've said before, and I'm mentioning that because it's getting dark now. It's evening, nearly 9 p.m, and it's just going to get darker for the next little bit of gameplay. And so the reason for mentioning that now is thinking about the fact that it's getting dark. I felt that the other episodes were a bit dark, but that is the nature of hard mode, because as I've said before, you can't time travel it. You can't fast forward the clock to make it daylight in hard mode the way that you can in campaign mode. So as a player, I just have to suck it up and play in the dark, whether I like it or not. As a YouTube, I'm not going to call myself a YouTuber really, but that's what I'm trying to do, isn't it? So, okay, as a YouTuber, I can either wait until it's daylight again, or I can mod it, and I'm not going to mod it. Let's get the crane out. I'm not going to mod it, I'm going to play the game the way it's meant to be played. So, ultimately what I'm saying is that I hope nobody minds the fact that it's dark, because the only thing I can do about it is either wait or cheat. And I don't really want to mess around with gammas and because games look a bit washed out. I think that this game has done the developers have done a pretty good job of, I think, of lighting for this game. And I don't want to second guess that and try and do something that makes it look different to how it was designed and intended. I'm going to play it as intended, which effectively means I have to suck it up, and so do you, or you have to not watch. So it's going to be a choice, isn't it? I hope you choose to watch, but that weirdly, that's probably good enough in that trailer, if I now restore the crane and pack the cargo, the packing cargo has fixed that trailer, which the astute amongst you may have noticed that I turned the truck around before loading it so that I wasn't going to repeat the same problem of trying to reverse a trailer. And I'm just going to park these bricks here because at some point they may be useful to me. Yeah, so it's going to be dark and there's nothing I can do about it really that's within the construct of how this game works. But while it is dark, I don't want to go exploring. What time? Yeah, this is already 30 minutes. You know what? I'm going to... I said I was going to try and get those upgrades. And I feel I should. So whether or not I actually get all of the upgrades, I'm pretty sure I'm selling the GMC. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to steal some fuel out of it because I expect that when you sell a vehicle, you don't get reimbursed with the fuel that might be in its tanks. So I'm going to sell it. I may as well take it to the garage close to empty. Right. So we're going to head down to the although it's dark, we're going to head down to the watchtower at the bottom of the map and then work our way back up for the upgrades. And the 10 minutes that we lost because some idiot rolled his truck on his side, we'll all agree to pretend never happened, if you don't mind. Much appreciated. I knew you'd understand. So on the right is the motel. Yeah. So somewhere in here there's another task that I just want to tag. I noticed it on the map just now and I don't think I got it the other day. Yeah, so 1850, not too bad. I'm gonna guess, yeah, that's a trader recovery. So when you see if your reaction when you see the money is that that money looks okay, it probably means it's a non-trivial task. Because it's not often somebody pays you $1,000 just to visit the top of a mountain for fun. And most tasks that have decent money require time and effort to do, as you'd expect. Detour. Let's get the detour. I'm aware that I was in all-wheel drive all the way through town. That was a silly thing to do. I'm kind of self-reviewing my previous three episodes. While I was, apart from the fact about the dark that I've already mentioned, I also felt that I need to just get more stuff done per episode, and that means driving faster, and that means tipping trucks over and taking longer in the first. Anyway, so that equation is something I've got to get right, where I do tend to just plod around, and I'm happy to do that personally, but when I was watching it back I thought, this could do with a little bit more action going on. Didn't really intend that action to turn into tipping things over that quickly. So I know I've got to come off the road here somewhere. Let's pause and look at the map and see where that is. before I go too far. Yeah, so I think I come off the road here and then follow this little track up to that watchtower, and then we'll take it from there. But it's more or less going to be that. And the other thing, I was pondering this series, and hard mode challenges are mostly economic. So therefore, I'm not going to feel too guilty about prioritizing finding trucks and upgrades that are free, because if I wait to earn enough money to buy trucks and upgrades, this series really will be slow, because we won't get trucks that are good enough to do the content. Just move that there. Yeah, so early doors for sure. I am going to be spending quite a lot of time looking for upgrades, identifying the free trucks like the Scout 800, which I might not want to keep it and drive it. Undecided, but if I sell it, then that buys me upgrades for the trucks that I decide to keep, and that's going to be the economy of hard mode for me. I think is you do actually get quite a lot of trucks in the wilderness, more probably than you need to keep. So focus on the priority fleet and get them upgraded by selling the stuff that you don't really care too much about. Which early days means lots of scouting with this vehicle. So probably priority should be getting this vehicle as capable as possible of going out into the wilderness, unlocking things. We'll keep forgetting no diff lock. But there is my watchtower. Cutscene in the dark. So let's just get our route to the next upgrade, which basically means follow this track that I'm on to there and there to get me to that upgrade. Bit of nighttime driving through the woods. Low ratio needed, I think. I'm going to put it out for third person view for a minute. Just all-wheel drive got disengaged somewhere. That would be a bit hairy in the real world, wouldn't it? Because if you get it wrong, you roll down those rocks. Confirm for myself. Oh, I've done it again. I've gone right past the thing that I was meant to just turn off at. Where am I? I think I can probably pick the road up again. Since I've made a mistake, let's just do it. Let's compound it and do it that way instead. Depends how thick these trees are. We're almost there. That is the road. Didn't quite go the way that I'd marked out. And then I need to check and turn left instead of driving 100 meters past the turn. Double check, but I'm pretty sure. Yep, we're actually on the right track this time. Jumping back into the cab just because I prefer it. So, upgrade on the west side of the map. Upgrade number 1. What have we got? Hope it was worth it. Raise suspension for the current truck. Yes, definitely worth it. Yep, that's one of the ones that would have been high on the wish list. So the next one is going to be back to the track. Yeah, back to the track. Down here. This way. Here to here. So we're going to turn around. Back down to the main track and turn left. I kind of expected to have seen some wildlife. There are quite often when you're driving through the woods in the dark. It's one of the reasons I was willing to come and do this in the dark. Thought it might be an interesting thing to talk about, but they're shy today. You quite often see pairs of green eyes shining back at you from the woodland, and then very occasionally, I'm sure I've seen things that look like wolves. I know a specific part of the map where I've seen that, so I don't know whether they're static locations or whether they're random when they appear. But I kind of have hoped to see a little bit of wolf-based fauna out in the woods. But no. It's the other side of the map where I've seen them before, so maybe they just, this is too close to town, maybe they just don't appear here. Oh, that's a bit wet. Don't like that. Need that snorkel as well. Although race suspension presumably helps, I would hope that the physics... I guess people watching this have already played campaign mode, maybe, I don't know, but that broken down car is usually an indication that there is an upgrade nearby. Although we found the upgrade from the watchtower. Sometimes if you just explore in the wilderness and you haven't got the watchtower yet, you'll see a car like that, and if you do, it's usually worth having a scout around the area, because usually there'll be an upgrade relatively close. This episode's now getting a little bit long. That was the upgrade, wasn't it? .2 litre V8 engine for this truck. So both of the upgrades we've just got are being for this vehicle, which is nice. Also for the Chevy Apache, which I think is a six-wheeler version of a, well, six-wheeler trick. I wouldn't say it's a version of this one. It's a different Chevy six-wheeler pickup truck. Never played with it in my previous save. Map. What would I want to do next? I think what I would want to do next is, on the way to getting the Scout 800, grab this task on the way through. That's probably the thing I would want to do next. But given the length of this recording so far, I think probably in the dark. That is very dark. Turn the engine back on and waste a few litres so we got a bit of light. Probably call the episode here. I wanted to get the Scout as well. That was one of my objectives. The objective failed because the thing that didn't happen earlier happened, and we ended up not getting out from the town area as quickly as I wanted to. So thank you very much for watching, much appreciated, and I'm going to leave this one here, get this video edited and uploaded, and then I'll record the next one, and I'll just keep doing that until I get bored. Thank you very much, and see you next time.